Somebody called the damn animal control on my son. My son identifies as a cat, so I let him wear a tail and cat ears around, whatever. He's not hurting anybody, I don't care. But today, somebody got pissed because they saw him out in public with me, and they said, hey, why is your son dressed as a cat? And I said, because he is a cat. And they said, he's not a damn cat. And I said, yeah, he is. He said, I'm going to call animal control on him then. Why does my son's identity matter so much to all of you people? Anyway, animal control shows up, and they don't pick up my son, obviously, because he doesn't look like a cat. He looks like a human, and they said that they don't deal with humans. And I said, well, first of all, no, I don't want you to take my son, but he's not a human. He's a cat. I mean, obviously, I'm grateful they didn't take my son to the pound, but I'm also pissed that they don't recognize him as a cat. I just wish everyone and everything could live in peace. Why does my son identifying as a cat matter so much to you? Why does it make you so angry that you literally call animal control and waste tax dollars on this? My son is inside scratching on the scratch post right now because he is so upset with what happened today. I am just thankful that I raised my son to be so confident in my love for him that as soon as he started having this identity crisis, he came to me and told me he identified as a cat now. He knew I wasn't going to get mad at him. He knew I was going to love him and support him no matter what. As long as he's not hurting anybody, I've done a good job as a parent. As long as my son is treating others with kindness, I know I've done my job as a parent. People love to bring up the fact that my son's a furry. They want to make that my entire identity, but I am my own person. You know, I grew up conservative, and I was raised that people were people and cats were cats, and that people couldn't identify as cats. But when I had my son, he really saved me from that mindset, because at first I told him I thought he was just going through a stage. I thought that he was pretending, but he never let up on it. He insisted that he was a cat, and eventually I believed him. Having a relationship with my son is one of the most important things in my life, and I couldn't imagine him not having anything to do with me just because I didn't believe him when he told me he identified as a cat. If you're only ever around people that think like you, you're going to grow into a hateful person. And I don't want to be a hateful person. That takes a lot of energy. So I've decided to just accept the fact that my son identifies as a cat and he's not bothering anybody, and that's okay. And when it comes down to it, there are no rules. If you want to be a cat, you can be a cat.
This is utterly bizarre. I mean, you know, we're in the world today where people can identify what they want to be, but, you know, this mom is just so on board with her son, who's probably under the age of 18, you know, identifying as a cat. Like, he's just opening one day, just come out and says, okay, I am a cat, I want to be a cat, I'm going to act like a cat, I'm going to even speak like a cat. Like, it's just unheard of completely. And, you know, I get why some people would probably throw, you know, some accusations and some words around for the strangers towards this woman and her son. Because if you was to meet this woman, yeah, not knowing her son, you'd be like, wow, okay, he identifies as a cat, and like he full on acts like a cat. I mean, she said that he was scratching and he's meowing, and when animal control was called, and when they, you know, the blatant says that they couldn't do anything because deep down he's not a cat, he's not biologically a cat, he's a human being. The woman was not having it at all, was she? She still firmly believes, and, you know, in the discriminating against her son for identifying as a cat despite him not biologically being a cat. It's just crazy. Like, I just can't believe how this woman is just so on board and okay with her son identifying the way he is, because you just don't hear about it. I completely understand why some people would be taken aback and, you know, caught surprise when they learn of this information. He might have a hard time getting on in life if he continues to possibly identify as a cat. Who knows? It might just be a little face.
Thanks for watching StoryTrender. Don't forget to like and follow.